Hi, I'm Bran. I love Hallmark mystery movies.
I'm Brian, and I like Hallmark mystery movies.
And I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark mystery movies. And this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. How are we
Oh,
today?
boy.
How are we today? Dan said I will come back from Mexico, but I
right.
have
One condition.
one condition.
I'm a middle chair boy now. That's
He's
what I
never.
said.
You've never been a middle chair boy, aside from when it's just the two of us.
That's right. Then it's
but
not
then
a middle. It's a left-right
That's a left-right
situation.
situation.
Yeah,
That's
Ladder boy
exactly right.
situation.
Yeah.
So why do this to the people?
I thought now was the time. I thought this was the time to really make sure everybody knew that I'm a middle chair boy.
Is the middle chair the best chair?
I actually hate it so
Yeah.
far. The moving
You
back
have to
and
go
forth,
back and
the
forth.
oscillation
Yeah.
is tough.
Yeah.
But you know what? Brian and I were in here working, and
Yeah.
we decided we didn't want to move, and so we're here.
Okay,
When
when
we're
you're here,
here,
your
we're
family.
family.
That's
That's right.
exactly right.
Yeah.
How is Mexico so far?
It's great. It's great. The flying back and forth is taking a lot out of the
Opposite of a
trip.
vacation,
Yeah. It's actually more work to go on vacation.
Your kids need
Yeah.
to be a little bit annoyed.
My
at this
kids have
point.
started calling me Dan, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's Dan. Dan's here. Crazy.
You deserve that, though.
But, work first. We've always said that around
We've always
here.
said that. We're
Yeah,
big work first
that's right.
people.
That's right.
And
Don't waste a dime. Don't treat people well. Just work
right.
first.
And
Don't pay them.
we can't. People might be. We can't miss the mystery.
Can't miss the mystery.
We're big mystery folk. We're big mystery folk. That's what people know about us.
That's right.
Brian, how you doing over there? What's it like being
This
over
is
there?
great. I like this view.
Yeah.
Right?
This is
Yeah.
the sides are the best view.
The sides are the best
obviously.
view. That's
Yeah.
This
right.
one might be the best because you're top dog. I mean, you're looking at, you see everything. In
You're
your
top
seat-
dog over
You're
there.
top
is
I
what
feel
you're
like
saying.
it's a top dog seat, the big
Yeah.
dog seat of the week.
Big dog
Big dog seat of the week. That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's good stuff.
I might never give. You're gonna have to, pry this from my cold dead hands. I think.
Wow. Bold.
Wow.
Bold. I get the feeling after everyone watches this on Philo TV, obviously, they're going to demand the switch back.
Yeah, I think I have no control in this situation.
5 years of me being on the other side of Bran is
Just too
probably going to
much.
be too much to overcome. But, who knows?
Who knows?
see.
I
don't
feel
know.
kinder in this seat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I feel like I'm ready to give a positive review. Maybe like a movie.
It's
Never
a little
can
darker
tell.
over here.
Yeah, a
than
little
it is
bit.
in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah,
So you-
a little bit.
you're-
Yeah.
There's a dark.
Spotlight is on me.
There's a rain cloud above your
Yeah.
head. Well, let's talk about this. A new mystery series, perhaps.
Perhaps.
I don't know how things work nowadays, so I don't know what's like a mystery series and what's a one time fun boy.
One time fun boy. I didn't see them live.
But this is the
Pretty good.
Case of Mystery Lane.
The cases.
Cases
of
of
Mystery. 'Cause
Mystery
they're both
Lane.
last name.
Two of them.
Oh,
Two
the
cases.
cases
of
Mystery
So
Lane.
it's talking about the people. It's actually not talking about cases. That's how that works.
Man, and you've become more like
Yeah.
just better all around in this chair. I like you.
Really on top
But
of
when
it.
you're over there, I don't like you.
Yeah, but I'm
This
here.
is actually the first time in years I've liked being
That's
around
right.
you.
That's fair.
Wow.
More than fair. More than fair.
Cases of the Cases of Mystery Lane.
Kobe.
Originally aired on March 19th, 2023, and it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off by showing us a door with a sign on it that says, "Leave packages, don't knock." A man with a black glove immediately begins knocking on the door that says, "Don't knock." An old guy opens the door and immediately gets tased by the person with the black gloves. His body is dragged out the door. Cut to a woman named Birdie. Walking through the office. She's a lawyer. She's working late. She's using phrases like the huge. And she's also a bit of an online poker player. I wonder if we can read her poker face.
Nicely done.
Poker face. Although it doesn't really matter with online poker. No one can. We then meet Alden. He's been secretly going to private investigator classes so that his wife Birdie won't find out. He's like in between jobs a lot. He hasn't found the thing that excites him in life. Maybe PI work will be it. He hides his PI book in an accountant book because he said maybe I'll be an accountant to his wife, and his wife is like, yeah, do that. He's lying about the classes. She's lying about the poker addiction. Hobby. I don't know. I don't know how far this.
there, yeah.
We don't know. Alden isn't a fan of how chummy Birdie is with her coworker Kyle, so he decides to put his PI skills to the test and follow him around. But we see that it looks like he is also being followed by somebody else. Alden's being followed, So he follows Kyle back to his office, and then soon after sees Kyle running out of the office. So he decides to go check out the office. And inside his wife's office, because while there, might as well poke around my wife's office, he sees a book about poker.
Of course.
He sees a letter about a petition for a divorce. All things you might see. He then hears a sound, so he goes to check it out, and he sees Birdie's boss is hanging. Is hanging
Just
from
hanging out?
Hanging.
He is no longer with us.
Been hanging around this town
He
on the corner.
he goes
I'm
to
Birdie's
leave.
boss and I'm dead.
He goes to leave, and the cops show up and stop him from leaving. He's being questioned. Birdie shows up. He finally comes clean about the private investigating, the PI classes. Apparently,
The private investigating classes is all you need to say.
I know. He wants to be a PI. Birdie's not so sure. Accountant's a safe bet. The next day, Kyle says something that makes Birdie think that
get it?
Kyle could be lying about, what's going on. And so Alden goes to get drinks with Birdie in Birdie's office, and Kyle is there, and Kyle tells Alden that he's secretly gay and was in a relationship with Tim, the dead guy.
Hanging around.
They start poking around some more. We find out that Tim's wife knew that Tim was gay, didn't seem to gain anything from his death, so she probably had nothing to do with it. They keep on digging together, and somehow they discover that Tim has a connection with the old dude from the beginning. He's like a mob fella, a good fella.
Good fella.
A good fella, a mob
Tony.
fella. Except they don't know at the time. I think that they go to check out the apartment and see what they can find. And they find that the apartment's an absolute mess. Suddenly the FBI shows up, and while they're in the back of the FBI car, Alden notices that the car that's been trailing him the other night is trailing him right now. What's going on with that? Alden finally tells Birdie that he saw the divorce papers, and she confirms that she's considering it. Alden keeps working the case. Tim was apparently, best I can figure, he knew the old mob guy, and he was gonna get him. Was gonna tell him, "Hey, back off! Don't." So
you don't know the plot of the movie.
I don't know what happened with Tim and the old mob guy.
You don't know why he killed himself.
No.
Do you know why he killed himself?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
He didn't kill himself. It was
No, the mob guy.
Yeah.
What's the connection between Tim and the mob guy?
the mob guy.
Do you know, Dan?
He was like the money they were making at the firm.
Right.
Part of it was funding this dude in the mob.
Okay.
Right?
Really?
So
Is that wrong?
I didn't pick up on that.
I feel like there's some
What was
murky-
happening?
Well, with Tim, his connection to the whole thing was he knew that the mob guy murdered the sister of the paralegal, and the paralegal found out. Tim knew. He knew what the paralegal did to the mob guy, so he just had knowledge and information. I didn't know there was money.
Maybe I'm wrong about the money. I assumed there was money. I assumed the firm was doing the bidding of the mob, and he was like feeling guilty about that, along with the sister.
Okay.
But I made that up in my head. Man.
It could be both things.
It's definitely the
if that-
sister.
yeah,
Brian's
it's definitely
right.
that.
Let's say Brian's right. I'm wrong.
But
Okay.
if the money thing-
Tim knew some information about the mob guy, and
Yeah.
there's
It was
so
too
that
much.
that it was too much too soon.
Hang around.
So they're in their house. They hear a crash, and they go and they find a brick that's been thrown through the window. It says, "Let sleeping dogs lie." Alden does not. He comes up with an idea. Apparently, everybody on staff wears a Fitbit type thing that tracks steps and also your location at all times and stores it in the cloud. So he goes to Paula, who is like does admin paralegal stuff. She's just kind of always there. So he goes to Paula and is like, does the GPS tracking archive, can we find out where someone was at a certain time? She's like, yeah. So she agrees to come over later and so that they can look. And she finds pulls up the information, and we see that Paula was in the building with the candlestick, with the professor. She was there at the time of the hanging, and so he's like, "What's going on there?" And she immediately tases him. At the same time, Birdie and Kyle are also looking at the GPS information. They discover that Paula was in the building as well, and they also see that Paula's with Alden at Birdie's house. So Paula, once Alden wakes up, explains the whole information about her sister and how she was killed by the mob boss. Nobody cared, so she killed him and then had to kill Tim as well for reasons we all clearly know. Paula tries to poison Tim with blue liquid, which you don't drink blue liquid.
COVID, though, if you inject... No?
It could.
So...
just me. All right.
But we find out that
use your science.
We find out that Tim, the person who was trailing Alden, is another PI student. So he comes in, saves the day. Paula's arrested. Tim's widow gives Birdie and Alden $100,000. So I guess they're going to keep doing some PI work. They get home, and someone, I guess, already knows that they're PIs. So they show up and says, I got a case for you. And that, my friends, was the cases of Mystery Lane.
We did it.
We did do. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to break this movie down even more here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody.
I don't know why, but it feels like we're a more professional outfit with me sitting in this chair.
Really?
And it's not because I'm professional. There's something about this that seems more formal.
I'm wearing a collared shirt today.
It could be the collared shirt. That could be it.
I mean, I got Mickey Mouse
Orlando magic on, so standard.
Let's talk about this movie. Let's start with the hot take. Let's share exactly how we felt about this movie. No holding back. I'm going to throw it all the way down to Brian. He caught it. He's going touchdown.
Like that.
Brian, what do you think about this new potential mystery series, The Cases of Mystery Lane?
Yep. They are ending a lot of these new pilot first ones with open-end, leaving everything open-ended, which is kind of cool.
They didn't do that here.
Yeah, they left. They had a new.
They had to leave the door open for more.
But you could easily not watch another one of these and go, oh, now they're private investigators.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm saying the ending. All of them are kind of open to a next episode easily.
Yeah,
it's not like they'd have to be like, oh, this did well. Let's figure it out. The synopsis.
That went well.
Well, the synopsis made it a little more confusing. I think that I was more confused listening to the synopsis than I was watching the movie. Because there was a lot I didn't realize.
Great job, Brian.
Well, no, there's a lot
Brian's
to cover.
also meaner in the third chair.
Good Lord.
There's a lot to cover. There's a lot of substance and information.
Mystery movies are hard to synopsize.
Synopsize, absolutely. Capsize.
Private investigating class. Nope. PI class.
PI class. But you did a good job. You did a good job.
Okay.
And if anybody hasn't watched
it,
they probably are interested in checking it out. But let me fill in a few guys.
It gives Brian 2 thumbs up.
So I really like this movie. I think that I had a good time. I had the opportunity to watch it with Bran, and that was a really good time because that doesn't happen every single day. There was a bunch of unexpected aspects to this movie, relationship stuff, murder on the screen, the way things were depicted, humor, which is not typical in the mysteries. I have a category in my ranking system for funny, real funny stuff, and typically the mysteries just kind of doesn't qualify at all. It doesn't factor in. This one it did, and it was ranked one of the highest of the year so far with funnies. So I was really
ranked one of the highest of the year so far with funnies.
Yes, we do have a ranking episode coming up soon, and I think that's going to be we're going to have 2 different tiers.
Sure.
One is normal
That's
and one
fair.
is the funnies.
Real funnies.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Mysteries are going to be on that ranking system.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
got to. So and a good amount of red herrings for me. So I just, long story short, I had a really good time. I was legit interested in what was going to happen, and it was really funny, which always wins me over pretty easily. So I really liked it.
I liked it. I loved it. I want some more of it. Big fan
Tim
of this.
McGraw, everybody.
I thought that, as Brian said, the funnies delivered. A hilarious script written by a husband and wife. I believe the husband's a stand-up comedian, and they wrote this, and the comedy shines through.
Yep.
I thought that, obviously, thanks in part to Paul Campbell and his fantastic comedic timing, but I thought the two of them worked really great together. And with the mysteries, does the mystery really matter all that much? I don't know. But I did find myself being interested in what happened to Tim. And so kudos to them. This is maybe one of my favorites that we've seen all year. We'll find out in the ranking episode how hard I fight for this movie on the regular tier.
It doesn't really matter.
On the regular tier, not the funny tier.
Real funnies
not
to
the
a different
funny
story.
on the regular. But I
course.
love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. Dana?
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag for me, actually. Some things they do well. They don't fall into the trap that every other mystery falls into, which is it's just explaining exposition from stem to stern all movie long. In fact, they don't even get to the killing or Tim's death until probably half an hour into this thing. So you get a chance to kind of sit with characters. They do that well. There are some funny scenes in this movie. I don't think all the attempts at laughs work in this, but when they do work, they're funny, especially a couple scenes I'm sure we'll talk about later. The flip side is the case wasn't great. This was one where the first time the killer comes on screen, it is almost like my wife was watching this, at least the beginning of it with me, and she was like, I can't do this anymore. And then she said, they don't deserve Amy Garcia. And then she walked off. I don't disagree with any of that. But the first time this woman walks on screen in any official, with a line capacity, that is the killer, I immediately go, oh, so she did it. They don't have this thing. Most mysteries have too many red herrings. Yep. So it could be anybody because they just keep throwing exposition at you. This movie doesn't have a lot of people that could do it. And so you the woman that is going above and beyond to organize a let's get drinks in his honor, pretty clearly the person, collecting for suicide, it's
horses.
Yeah. And so what you're left, did you, the thing that's tough about that is that it's not anything to hang it on. Now, do these two people, the leads, need some serious therapy? Yes. Will we get to that? Yes. Amy Garcia, wonderful. I think Paul Campbell is better when he gets to play kind of the smart A, when he gets to play the almost cocksure, too confident, always has a retort or a response. This leaning into I wear glasses, I'm just a step behind.
Easy, Dan.
What's your problem with glasses?
Isn't no. We love glasses around here.
I wholeheartedly disagree with you. I thought this was my favorite Paul Campbell character in a long time.
No. The bit that he does in Window Wonderland is his best bit. He is so good at that. And what I did like about this was him consistently needing, so many times in this movie, the female is sticking her head into stuff she doesn't belong, or getting in trouble and damsel in distress and needing the dude who's the cop to come and rescue her. And this was a very nice role reversal here, where Paul Campbell is kind of a buffoon of a private investigator. His wife is consistently helping him and rescuing him. And so that was really cool. So some stuff I liked, some stuff I didn't like. I've never been as high on one of these wanting another one as I was Mystery 101. That is not the case with this one. But yeah, I think they could get this down to where these could be really, really good. So yeah, I liked it more than most of what we've seen this year, which has not been great, to be fair.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's get to the feels. Brian, what are you feeling?
So the feels, when the paralegal first was introduced and was being kind of orchestrating things, my first thought was, I really hope it's her, because I like when somebody who is in her role, she's involved in lots of aspects of different case. She has access to all the information. And so I like when there's that person who has all the access and can get the information, but is sort of like not suspected because they're like not quote unquote important, an important player or whatever. So I was really glad when she was the person who did it, because I'm like, that's great. I like that role being the person who did it. My part that I was really like at the end, I was psyched about was that I thought there was going to be more than just her. I thought she was conspiring with Kyle or with the mother. I thought there was going to be more to it. So they tricked me in that part where they had me second guessing my gut. And so I like that. I like that they kind of got me. And just the funny feels all around. I mean, I just had I laughed out loud multiple times. Unsuspected. Really was not expecting it to be that funny. Obviously, hopes were high with Paul Campbell being involved. You know, he's comedic, his comedy level there. So just across the board, the funnies were really there, and the mystery really kind of got me.
There you have it.
So the mystery got him. Yeah, I just thought the movie was really funny, and I thought anytime I want to look up who wrote a script is usually a good thing. Yeah. And I did that. I wanted to know who this was, and so kudos to the script writers, the screenwriters, if you will, because I thought the script was really great.
Yeah, I early on, like I almost got a hint of like Jim Carrey in Paul Campbell's
I was thinking the exact
performance,
same thing.
like, but not.
Are you talking about the Jimmy Stewart of our generation?
The Jimmy Stewart of our generation, yes.
Okay,
and like it was weird. It was almost. It wasn't like really fitting of the role, and he wasn't taking it far enough to be absurd. But when he asked Siri to call the FBI, that was funny because it's so just patently absurd that you would come upon this and your first inclination is not 911, like Siri, call the FBI. Like they're going to take a hot tip from some dude that just, and then he turns around and the FBI's there. That is where we've reached full absurdity. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of the humor got there. I thought it was trying to toe a line in between there. Early on in this movie was kind of laughless to me. And I was like, oh no, if this is what they're going for, it doesn't work. But I feel like they found their stride there. Yeah. The flip
It's good to know that you can still be a miserable sap in the middle chair.
Right? The flip side
I would
of
hate
that,
for it to be all
wait a minute.
rise.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. The flip side of that is that I was very disappointed that it wasn't left open for an obvious sequel. Like when those two mob guys show up outside there, I was like, oh, they're going to do this. They're going to give us, now they are in bad with the mob because of what they did.
Sure.
And now there's going to be another murder. The mob's going to be after him, and this is going to be a legit serialized, like next, can't wait for next episode. And instead it was like, here's a gift, thank you very much. And then they just go and someone's standing outside their house, and it was like, if this doesn't work well, we're hedging our bets. We don't have to do another one. And that was disappointing. Sure. Like for me, I didn't take it as open-ended. I took it as easy way out. We could have had a legit open end, and we didn't do it in case a Mystery 101 happens. And so that was disappointing for me.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back, and we will do the Wait What's and the What the Hallmark here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about the cases of Mystery Lane. Do they live on Mystery Lane?
Yes.
They do.
Man, what are the odds?
Did you watch the movie?
I did. The last name was Cases. Okay. When did they talk about them living on Mystery Lane?
The one time they show it is in the divorce papers.
Wow, I can't believe I missed that.
And they show the street sign as well.
Woof.
It says Mystery Lane.
Woof, you guys are just woof.
Yeah.
Better than me.
And on the divorce papers, they also said just Massachusetts, no city, no town, just
That's right.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts. Don't want to get you confused.
Let's get to the Wait What's. Let's talk about one of this movie made us go wait what. Brian.
Yeah. So as we've talked about, Wait What's and mysteries are tricky because on purpose they're sort of putting things up, false positives and stuff. And this one is even the level of difficulty on Wait What's is even higher because they're trying to be funny.
They're trying to be funny.
So some stuff is
very tough.
set up and like some stuff's just ridiculous. But I found a few. The real detective going to an intro to PI class at a community college is a little out there. Unless
so many questions about that class. Yeah.
The class was ridiculous. Yeah. So that obviously, what are we doing there? That's a tricky one. But he's got to be there. When Alden found Tim and then the police showed up, they didn't really say how the police
They didn't.
How the police?
They
got
don't
there.
explain it.
They just show up. Yeah. There's a lot of
I assumed Kyle called him. Kyle found him and ran out.
Kyle why?
Yes. Well, there's no belly button, but he can work a phone.
Work a phone.
You don't need a belly button to work a
dodge
phone.
A ball, yeah.
So we didn't really find out about that information. Alden and Birdie, Bren, you might mention this, so I'll just touch on it real quick. They went to bed with their clothes on a lot.
Not just clothes, Brian. Full sweaters.
Fully dressed,
Yeah.
multiple
Full
layers.
sweaters, multiple layers.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, no
Really
how.
fun.
No donka. I cannot do that.
German is coming in handy.
9 donka. I cannot do that.
You've used German in the podcast probably more than you did in school.
Thank you.
School or
Yes.
life.
Why? And then now every time I see Paul Campbell in a sweater, I'm like, is he getting ready for bed?
Yeah,
Is he getting ready to start the day?
Is it bedtime
I
or
don't
what?
know. I don't know. Because there's a scene where he's wearing a 3/4 zip,
yeah.
and she's brushing his teeth, and I'm genuinely wondering where are they gonna end up?
Yeah.
They're gonna end up in bed, or are they gonna end up going to their cars
to
to start the day?
here. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. that's
I
fair.
don't know.
So I feel like that might have been played for funny. Or
I don't know.
it's
What's
just a
funny
weird-
about that?
I don't know.
It was just weird.
maybe-
I even caught on to that.
Yeah, it was a strange move. Just throw on a couple sweaters and head to bed. The post-suicide hoedown at the rodeo bar, just the vibe there. doesn't
I did not see post-suicide rodeo
at the rodeo
hoedown.
bar.
Yeah,
Hoedown.
I didn't.
You
see
didn't even
them.
know the names.
I
You
didn't know
couldn't
the
Google
names.
them.
I
You
saw
would
them,
have
I was like,
gone.
I'm out. I'm out.
No, you would have gone. You just couldn't.
went?
Yes.
Post-suicide hoedown at the rodeo bar.
Yes.
Interesting.
Wow.
Actually, really upbeat.
Really?
And for a good cause.
See,
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, they take a collection.
Yes.
All the proceeds go. Wow.
100%.
That's great.
Yes.
I hope they come around again. The Paula knew that.
I hope
you
they
never,
don't.
You never hope that.
Oh, yeah.
I hope
take
they
it back.
don't.
You guys are right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Man, it's getting real
we'll
dark.
cut that out. Right.
Yeah. We'll get
Probably
it in post.
not,
Don't
yeah.
worry.
So,
Yeah, we got you, Brian. We'd
don't
never
worry,
make
buddy.
you
It's
look
this
bad.
It's this
It's the
chair.
chair,
It's
yeah.
being over here. Okay, I got two more. So Birdie didn't call the police when she knew Paula was at her house with Alden. Even when
Yeah.
she was stuck in like a detour, road work going on, still didn't pick up the phone and just make a quick call to the police. Just an obvious thing that one would probably do. It's just a little bit of a miss. And the biggest one for me, and this, I actually caught this on, I watched this a second time.
Okay, wow.
And the second time around I caught this. The morning after the suicide, Birdie goes into Kyle's office, and Kyle's really obviously very upset. And they have a full little conversation there, and her parting words weren't like, hey, have a great day, one step at a time, we'll do this together. They were, hey, hang in there. And I was just like,
Boy.
that has to be, I hope that's on purpose, because if not, that's just
That's
little,
dark for them.
a little off.
Wow.
The
Hang
scale.
in there.
Hang in there.
Wow.
Didn't.
And so
That's tough.
that was it for me.
Call it my addiction to coffee, but if your significant other makes you a latte in the morning,
Yeah.
you don't turn it down because somebody's bringing you coffee at work.
Ever.
You have a whole car ride to drink
a
that
both
latte.
and. It's a both
Why?
and.
Why can who? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
It's one of
This is
mine.
a full Monty. I'm gonna drink this. I might get another one after this. I only can do the one cup. Just get out of
Stop
town.
it.
Just get
Stop
out of
it.
here. I had the clothes on here.
You had the clothes off.
I gotta say,
Donka.
a lot to like about this movie. What I don't love about this movie is, hey, how are we gonna know it's Paula? What if we made everybody wear GPS tracking Fitbits?
yeah.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
Very convenient.
Yeah.
When it happened, I was like, no.
It's a bad case. I think that's my bigger issue is that they did it right by the characters.
Sure.
By getting the characters together. But the case is not
But then just just insanely convenient.
Oh my gosh.
Even by Hallmark standards,
Yeah.
insanely convenient for everybody who's working at this office to be wearing Fitbits that track and archive your GPS.
And you can just locate
Just
access
locate it.
anytime.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy, no problem. Incredibly convenient. Incredibly convenient. Dan?
Yeah, you guys took a lot of my bigger ones. I will say the coffee problems continue for me because the day before he says, "Do you want your usual?" And she says, "The usual."
Yes.
And then she drinks the coffee and goes, "Oh, you put cinnamon in there. Nice."
Why do
like
that?
if you ask for your usual
Yeah.
and someone confirms
Yep.
that you want the usual, why are you mixing it
I
up?
spiced up your usual.
Yeah, I know you
It's
asked
not
for the
your
usual.
usual.
I know you had a
ask for it.
conversation about the usual, but it was a no-go. I got there and I was like, they don't want the usual. I know they don't. This couple needs therapy. That's probably why she's filing for divorce. But talk about two of the dumbest things to hide from your spouse. Online poker? Like, you're hiding the fact that you're playing online poker.
Well, are you gambling real money?
But he would probably figure that out by the fact that they lost everything, which he already lost. Like, that is the dumbest, like, and then...
I love online poker.
Me too. And dude, when we played, you could play for real money. It was great. Have that on the background. Just, man, I don't have a problem. So
we're all having fun.
Yeah. It's all in good fun. What's a few $1,000s between friends? I don't look.
Make rent next month.
Where everybody's getting paid. It's
make it
fine.
back.
We
Make it
ran
back.
A couple days late.
Yeah.
Now we know why.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know if I like. So the thing he's up front saying is that he wants to become an accountant, like a late in life accountant. Live the dream, buddy. First of all. Second of all, like that takes years. You don't just show up for a few night classes and it's a 4-year accounting degree. You don't just show up for a nickel and dime a few night classes and get an accounting degree. Like, I could not have been more insulting for accountants. Unless we're talking about private investigators, which that's not a degree at all. Like, you can get a criminal justice degree, but that's something you can get in a 12-hour course you buy on video.
Yeah.
Like, the idea that we're equating these two across the hall from each other in a community college makes me question everything about the community college, everything about what it takes to be an accountant versus someone that has a camera and a car.
It really does seem like a cash grab for the community college. Like let's just trick these people into this class.
Yes, and I'm not here to denigrate the profession of private investigator, but is that what you do? You shoot for private investigator? Like, private investigators are always people that had a career as a detective.
Yeah.
And they retired from the police force, and now they're doing this thing. This guy is 36, 37, and he's
Former
like,
notary.
I'm gonna do 10 years worth of night classes and become an accountant.
Or you're Veronica Mars.
Maybe I'll just become a private investigator instead. But I want to do it the right way.
That's right.
College. I like, all of that wasn't played enough for laughs for me. Like, it was just a ginormous wait what, that this is something that they've now gotten to. It was a mess. And then lastly, if you're killing someone, which wouldn't recommend. Well, and the method of death you're choosing is you're going to ingest some sort of cleaning product.
Yeah.
Is she trying to get the least amount of cleaning product necessary to kill someone? Because she has a full baster, and it has maybe like 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces.
That's a good amount of blue in there.
When I'm like, even in the cup
I think there's a good amount, Dan.
I think
there's a good amount.
Yeah,
I think there's a
they
good
know
amount.
what they're doing with filling up the blue.
There's a good amount.
Whatever you guys say.
There's
Fine.
a good amount. Take it to the tape.
Yeah, let's take
Okay,
that to the
go
tape.
look.
I think you
I
were
just feel like,
mistaken.
I think you're maybe colorblind.
I feel like if you've
Are
murdered
you
before.
Have we talked about being colorblind yet?
We have, I believe. There's a
all
whole
right, just make
movie
sure.
about it.
Let's get to what the Hallmark Inspired show. We wonder what could have been. Maybe everything's declared which is off. Brian, what are you still wondering about, buddy?
Like, if you're gonna fill a turkey baster with liquid, so one of the questions I had based on
Hang in there.
can a legally blind person get a concealed carry license, which is something they say in this movie that one of the apartment residents has. I think you can.
I mean, the community colleges out there handing out associates in arts and private investigating.
Yeah,
so I
so
feel like all bets are off.
It looks like, from the research I did, it looks like if you can pass the tests, you can get the
dodge a
license.
ball.
Yeah. So why didn't she ever tell him about the poker? That was left completely
I couldn't
unanswered.
believe that she's playing online poker, and that is the big secret.
Yeah, especially if she's winning. Like, that's
especially if she's filing for divorce.
that's going to come up. Yeah,
Like, she's just going to be playing it nonstop.
That doesn't look good for her on
No.
in court. Kyle ran out of that office really fast. I don't think we found out why. Did we?
I
find
think
out?
he walked in and saw that he
And he
had
just
hung himself.
scaredy cat and ran. Oh, he was upset.
This movie
Yeah, he
is
was upset.
determined to not over-explain things, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But there are some things
Yeah.
like that I'm like,
Yeah.
sure,
Well,
probably.
he was in love with Tim. You walk in, you
Sure,
see Tim
he's
hanging, you run out,
yeah,
you're in shock. Yeah. That's
and
how I took it.
It seemed like Kyle, and this is the last one. Kyle was. It seemed like the not inclination. The I don't know the word. They were insinuation was that he was cheating on his steps because he went into the back end and you could enter manually.
right.
Was he
Yeah.
was he cheating or was he just manually entering to avoid the GPS tracking? Which
He was cheating
still
because
on.
it was a competition.
That's what I assumed,
Yeah.
but it
Well,
was.
I would say that's mine. If that's not yours, I'll go ahead.
go ahead.
Which is, it's bad enough that the way we find out the killer is through everyone happened to be wearing Fitbits.
Yeah.
But it's even worse that the only reason they find it is because he wants to explain how cool of a hacker he is and how he cheated the Fitbit system, right? Like that's how we got there. So he's like, you want to see a cool trick? Look at this thing that I'm able to do on the back end of Fitbit. What?
Yeah.
Is that something you can do?
Sure.
Hack into Fitbit and change your steps? Like, I'm sure someone can hack, but like that, because the way they explain it is that's the same place where you find everyone's location.
Right.
Which is not true. Fitbit's pretty open about the fact that if you're connected to a phone, they're using your GPS tracking. Right. That's straightforward. Mm-hmm. This was like, I'm on the dark web to change my steps to win an office competition. Oh, by the way, you can look at locations while we're here. That whole thing fell really, really flat for me.
My biggest question is about the hanging itself. How'd she do that?
Is there enough bleach there?
How'd Paula do that?
Yeah.
Lil Paula
Yep.
somehow got...
Tim didn't hang himself?
No.
I thought Tim felt so guilty.
No.
Okay.
Paula.
It's Paula.
Great.
And that's why they at the end of the movie, the widow says, "Hey, it's now a murder.
That's right.
I got money. Here's $100,000."
Got
$1 million.
Got it, yeah.
Somehow, Lil Paula
Yeah.
hung him.
Yeah.
And those ceilings have to be
But by the way, like we're in a room, we're in an office. I don't even know how you would do that. It's not like good.
you'd have to drill, like you have to have a wall
Yes.
that was made of like something.
So
solid,
even
and
if
you have to drill
even
into
if
it.
her
This beam is the only thing we'd have to go
even
up
if
and
her
over.
standard play is
Well, I mean, it's not that I've thought about this office per se, but
If you, not that you would, but if you were going to do it, you go over the beam.
I'd pop out
That's
those
what you go.
acoustic
Good.
tiles.
You think that beam is weight
right.
bearing, load bearing?
yeah, no, for sure.
Definitely
All right,
enough.
good.
If
Enough
if
there.
if her method of how she normally does things is to tase somebody in the middle of the chest,
Yeah.
like she does at the beginning with the old guy,
Yes.
you still have to at that point, assuming you tase him and knock him out,
Yep.
you're now dealing with a fully limp, grown man.
That's right.
That you have to
By yourself.
by yourself.
Not happening.
Lots to do there. How did she do
system,
that? How'd she do that?
Yeah, some type of pulley system would do it.
Yes,
Some
some
sort
sort
of
of pulley system.
Yeah, because she's got to get up, lift him up.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
tough.
It's a lot. That's a lot. Like that's like the fun thing that you would do with your friends is like dead fish, where you just go like this and they have to like deal with you because you're heavier that way.
She was
That's
probably
tough.
really good
You
at
guys
that.
get out in the yard and just play a game of dead fish.
Like this.
Yeah.
Dead fish. And then you're stuck with it.
You're stuck. Man, you are heavy.
Wow.
There we go.
Oh, it's gonna bruise.
Here, let me move these acoustical tiles and let's just see if we can't.
If you're watching on Philo, you got such
A
treat
quick
there.
reminder. Ow! Philo.tv/DTH is the only place that you can see
microphone's all
me
messed up.
fall on
Thanks.
top of Dan.
That's right.
Glad you were middle chair today, I'll tell you that
Yeah,
right
no
now.
kidding.
Philo.tv/DTH. You can watch this. You
hanging
can
me
watch
up there.
that movie. You can watch so much. You can watch Dan right now. Lots of fun. We did, everybody. Congratulations. We're going to be back tomorrow with another one. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.